Today I moved my daughter. She'd moved house today. Brought me back to when I first moved into my place. We sort of like had a connection today because when she explained to me exactly the reasons why she was doing it and how that she was going to be able to obtain what she wants out of life. For the first time I actually got it. I actually understood what my daughter wants and how she's going to go about getting it. And I actually respect her for what she's doing. I get it. I understand. Because when I go back and I look back in my life and I think to myself, man, when I first moved into my first place, when I first bought my first place, at the time to get a mortgage, to go and buy a flat, let's say a flat, back in the day when we're talking about 80, 83, 84, to get an average one-bedroom flat was about 65 grand. And even back then, £65,000. Today seems nothing, but back then, that was a lot of money to try to be able to hustle and get that. I was fortunate enough that that's the way I was thinking anyway. And I was saving as I was learning my trade. I managed to save up some money, and them days you went to a mortgage broker, and the mortgage broker would sort of like find somebody who will mortgage people that will take you on, and I got lucky, and I managed to get myself my property. I was about 23 at the time, and that's another thing where I've realised that the youngsters now, man, they're buying places a lot older and for a lot more money. It's difficult. I didn't really have the help of bank of mum and dad, so that wasn't there at all, really. Not because they didn't want, because they didn't have. They're doing their own thing, ain't they? So that's what it was like. There's times when I remember when I was a youth, man, where I've left home, leave home, go and spend time with the girl, then come back home, then leave home. I remember having arguments with my father. My father then decides, well, you can't. A man that have too many keys, I don't know where I'm going, boy. Give me one of the key then. Then I left home. When I moved in with my girlfriend at the time, my now wife. I remember things never worked out. And I remember sleeping in my van or in the car a couple of nights. And I had to walk back home with my tail in between my legs and say, right, you know what, Derek? You'll move back into your parents' house. You've got to live by their rules. So for the years I was there, that drove me to save some money so I can have something which was mine, which I can call mine. And that's where me getting a place, where that all stems from. So yeah, there's times in which where I've left home, there's times in which my old man used to kick me out, rightly so. Didn't know which way I was going, didn't know what to do, didn't know how to cope, but you cope, you do what you got to do, ain't ya? But yeah, you youngsters now, when I say youngsters, I mean, man, the 20s, 28s, the 20s and the 30s, it's difficult. I hear that. And the days of a man or a woman just being able to just go there and buy a house for herself and all that, if you're fortunate, then I bless you. But for most of the times, you're going to have to move as a group. move as a partnership, try to get a place that way, because for me, if I was to start all over again, it would be difficult for me. So I can see where you guys are actually feeling it, you know. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say, really. What my daughter was doing, I didn't really understand. I didn't really agree. But it's only when I went there and I saw what she was doing and she told me the story that I understood. And that's the reason why I spoke about this. Property and houses and everything, mate. I'm telling you, it's an expensive thing.